Hey everybody, it's Rachel. On my channel, I talk about reading and writing. Today we're having a writing vlog, and this is taking the place over about a month-ish, starting from when I was on my spring break from work. Filming from the kitty condo. Anyway, I was on my spring break from work, and I really jump-started a lot of things that I really wanted to get done, which helped me get through the rest of the month-long period. So, in this vlog, you're going to see me doing like 3 main things. Helping a friend edit through a completed poetry collection. So I'm basically serving as a beta reader for him. Doing that, and then creating a short story for online content for my newsletter, and then creating my newsletter. So not so much like novel writing or poetry writing and editing, which is what you would normally see on my channel. But today we're doing some beta reading, some short story writing, and creating a newsletter, which ended up being more complicated than I thought it was going to be. I hope you enjoy the content. Now that this video, by the time that it's posted, my newsletter actually will be ready to go. So if you're interested, click on my link tree down below. There will be a link to sign up. It will be fun, I promise. I'm going to talk more about what to expect from it in the video. But obviously you can expect like updates on my releases and what I'm working on and a bunch of other things, including cat content. And the short story that I'm writing in this video, you get for free if you sign up. Just saying. But yeah, without further ado, let's watch me try to do things this month. You know, I need to give myself credit. I say try, but I did things this month. So watch me do things this month. Here we go.
I've made it to the first day of spring break. I fell asleep on the couch for a nap after being awake for an hour. So, yeah, catching up on rest first. Now I'm going to clean the house and then go from there.
So here's where I'm at with everything. I have like a section and a half left of my friend's poetry collection that I'm taking a look at for him and giving him some feedback. So far it's been pretty strong, and I haven't really said a whole lot. Just like little bits and things about like how one section's organized, and a couple of stylistic things that he was on the fence about, and kind of weighing in on those things and some suggestions for that. I'm totally behind on cleaning my house because, like I said, I went to spring clean. I guess I'm not totally behind. I'm further behind than I wanted to be because I also have not done much to my landscaping. My landscaping looks like this. Let's flip around. So like, that's a problem. I need to trim back the dead things. I need to pack up some leaves and stuff like that. And unfortunately, my the community that I live in, every like week or so, they will pick up any brush that you have on the side of the road from your yard work and stuff like that. But that hasn't started yet. So I guess I'm gonna have to use a garbage bag or like something. I'm not sure what I'm gonna do about that. Because it's gonna be too long and it's just gonna blow all over the place because it's spring and it's windy here, so I can't just leave it on the side of the road right now. It will blow away and be a nuisance to everybody. So I'm gonna do that. Am I ever gonna write stuff for myself? Who knows? That'd be fantastic. Also, I forgot to take out the garbage until the absolute last possible minute today, and of course I came early too, so I didn't even really have a chance to learn that beforehand. And my husband raced with the garbage thing out into the yard, and the litter box liner wasn't changed on time. So now that's in my garbage for now. That will be picked up next week, and it's going to smell like a litter box. So that's nice. But
at least this little boy has a clean box regardless. Look at how handsome.
it's finally time to write stuff. So what I'm gonna work on is a short story set in the same world as my science fiction books, and which aren't out yet. What I'm trying to accomplish this break is I want to create an author newsletter, and it's really recommended that you offer something to everyone that signs up. And so generally, if you're a writer, writing sample. So what I want to do for sure is have this short story set in this world as kind of a preview of what my science fiction is like. And then I also am going to have a set of poems that aren't released on anything available for people to look at as part of the newsletter incentive. Once I have this done and ready to go, I do need to start putting together the freaking newsletter, and I barely know what I'm doing, so that'll also be fun. But yeah, I'm gonna start hashing this out. Don't mind the wet hair. I just showered. I'm a clean girl. Okay, here we go. Short story is done and drafted. So this is draft 1. I'm gonna have to reread through the whole thing again and do some edits. I usually need to add in more description. You usually can't really see anything I'm talking about the first time around, but I'm happy with this. I think that this looks really good, and I think it does exactly what it needs to do. The only thing is, I feel like I might want to work in some level of action, because usually my science fiction has a lot of action and this kind of like doesn't. So I think I have an idea of how I'm going to do this. I don't know. Okay, so I've done some edits. And it pretty much happened the way I expected it to happen. I always have to add a little bit more. I brain dump a little too fast, so I need to find moments to really like slow down and making sure that what I'm saying is actually super clear. So I did that and boosted me up to... My cat's lost his mind. Anyway, it's boosted me up to 8 pages instead of my original 7 for the short story. I will probably do one more quick round, but I think that that's pretty much done. Along the way, I'm having quite an epic journey dealing with a moldy corner in my basement. I got some waterproofers to look at it, and they looked in my crawl space, and the previous owners left behind a litter box with litter in it and some cat food. And other crap in there, but they also put insulation on the walls of the crawl space. They separated it, and you can clearly see so much mold. You can smell it. It's horrendous. And I have termites. So basically, my crawl space is a moldy dungeon with termites. It's like the Red Room in Hill House, except that room didn't have termites. So that's freaking exciting. So I'm going to be dealing with that. I guess another thing that I need to think about, kind of continuing on from what I've told you guys about the mold situation. When I was working on my master's degree, I was spending a lot of time in my office, which is right above the mold dungeon. Like, that's the only room that's above it.
I'm starting to wonder how much of some of my issues, health-wise, and just dealing with burnout. I mean, I'm sure that the mold and breathing in mold probably didn't help anything. So, that's fantastic. I'm also just really tired of having to think about money between the economy and now financing my waterproof job, which got started yesterday. I don't know. I feel like it's really hard to be creative when you're so worried about like living.
This is the moldy corner that I was talking about. And there's like 3 dead bugs there. Sorry. But yeah, it's obviously a problem. But like I said, that's not even like, that was one sign. It's really the crawl space. And so what I would do is I would just show you the problematic crawl space. However, I just don't want to take the covering off of it. I don't want to smell it. Literally, I barely looked in there. I covered my face, with my shirt, and I was still coughing a ton, and I got a migraine from looking in there. So we're not going to look in there, so just trust me on there. It's really gross. I know that someone out there is going to think to ask, like, well, girl, didn't you, like, get a home inspection before you bought this house? Yeah, I did. He said the crawl space was fine. He said that the foundation was fine. So, yeah, that did a world of good. Fortunately, though, am I happy about this? Obviously freaking not. I am happy, though, that I caught this pretty early. The termites are only chewing some of the cardboard that the previous owners left in the crawl space. They're not chewing the wood yet. So there's a lot to be happy about in a way that it's not worse. So at first I was intimidated, then I was like, oh no, I got this, and then I was confused again. So basically where I got stuck for a minute is I need to get my own domain for my website. So I gotta bite the bullet and do that, because otherwise MailerLite will not let me do newsletters with the Gmail, which I think that makes sense. I respect that, so I need to have my own domain, so I need to buy that. So I'm gonna buy that now, and then we'll see how long it takes for my domain to be confirmed or whatever, and then I'll start writing up the actual newsletter. I made the domain, and now I have to make the email. I thought, for some reason, it didn't occur to me that, like, once you buy the domain, you have to pay then again for the email from the domain. I hate this. Now I have to choose plans with gigs. Anyone know how many gigabytes the average newsletter is going to be? Anybody know? I don't know. Google's not that helpful. I wish that Google searches worked the same way they did like 20 years ago, 15 years ago, whatever, because this ain't it. Alright. Some people are saying that it's like not gigabytes worth of stuff. It's going to be kilobytes. As long as I just delete stuff off my email, I can't just let it junk up like all my other emails. I should be okay if I have a lower amount. Why is this so stressful? I should just call my best friend who's like a tech guy, but like I don't want to have to over rely, and he's really busy right now. Like, I want to be a grown up. I have to wait 24 hours for something to be authenticated. So maybe I'll be able to write a newsletter tomorrow. Never mind. It didn't take 24 hours. It's ready to go. I can maybe start tonight then, because I don't have a lot of time because I have to go to my cousin's baby shower. But, yay. I did it. It looks like there's a ghost behind me, but it's like it's a coat rack thing that has too many coats piled up on it. Oh, that looks creepy. Anyway, so another thing that I've been doing is I made like these like infographics for Instagram and other social media platforms. So like something like this. And this is the announcement post that I'm having a new book, which by the time that this video is uploaded, that's not new news anymore. So yeah, that's my cover. I'll probably put like a picture here so it's clear and you're not just looking at it on my desktop, but it's called Transcendence. And I'm really excited about it. Yeah. I just need to, all I have left to do is make the hidden pages on my website to have the short story. I'm going to edit that one more time, and then I'm going to add the poems on there as well. What ended up being the biggest pain in the butt of all freaking time with, after I got a website domain and then I got an email, and then what ended up happening was I had to link all of that to MailerLite to send out my newsletter, and it was just so many steps and so many directions of linking things together, but not using like links, using these fancy like little codes that they give you that magically make it all connected. Yeah. So my bestie, that's a tech dude, I told him that I had done this and that I was pretty successful. And he was like, yeah, this stuff's like a lot harder than people think that it is. And it's just really surprising. Like, it's 2025. It's this hard to like make a newsletter. Really proud of myself for figuring it out though. It just took a long time. So if you want to make an author newsletter or a newsletter for anything, give yourself time, because there were more steps than I thought. But it's done. If you want to subscribe to my newsletter, because hopefully by the time that this video is posted, everything is ready to go. It's in my link tree, which is in the bio. So please subscribe if you're interested. So the kind of content that I'm going to put on there is like, obviously updates on releases, updates on my works in progress. You get an exclusive science fiction short story set in my sci-fi world that I'm hoping to publish within the next few years. You get exclusive poems that aren't published anywhere else. And you get pictures of my cat. And he's freaking adorable. And just kind of general musings on what's inspiring me and what's not inspiring me in my life, right? Especially because, like, for me as a teacher, it's finding that work life and creative balance. So you're going to get a lot of information about stuff like that. So if that sounds good to you, newsletter. And I am definitely more organized in writing than I am on YouTube. So I feel like the quality of the content is going to be a lot higher, I feel like, compared to my YouTube. And my goal is to only email like once a month. I mean, obviously when you first start up the newsletter, there's like a series of welcome emails, and it's just like a few right off the bat. And then after that, it's just like one a month. So I won't clog your inbox either. That's basically what I've accomplished in terms of writing in the month of March. So to recap, I wrote a short story for the newsletter. Not related to my writing, but I did look through my friend's poetry collection. So I accomplished that, gave him feedback. I set up my newsletter. It's not 100% set up, but like it's like, I would say 90% there. Well, 80% there, because knowing me, the last few steps are going to be hard. So I just need to make sure that I have the button on my website. I still need to add Transcendence to my website. I'm not going to do that till after I announce the book. Or maybe like around the same day, I guess. And that's basically it, I think. Just add those links into the newsletter where I put the space to add in the links to the exclusive content. One thing that I'm looking for are recommendations for author newsletters. So if you follow a really good author newsletter, just let me know, because if it's someone that I know that I just didn't realize I had one, I would love to sign up for it, because I realized that, like, at first I'm like, oh, I don't even read newsletters. Actually, I do, but it's for bands and stuff. Like I get one from Metric and from Within Temptation, Evanescence sends me emails, Epica, Nightwish. Yeah, like I get emails from a lot of my favorite bands, but like none of my favorite authors. So yeah, if you want to kind of write in the comments which author newsletters you subscribe to, which ones you like, that would be really cool. There's a lot that I want to accomplish this year with writing. I really need to edit through my science fiction because I feel like this summer I want to start hardcore querying it again, like hardcore after all my edits and stuff like that, like do or die. And after a year of hardcore querying this project, if it's not going anywhere, it's getting self-published, and I'm going to do all the books that way. I also need to finish my paranormal young adult rough draft. At least finish the first draft. So I think I really am desperate to be in a space where I'm working on, for the most part, sorry, I shook the camera, for the most part, like one project at a time. Or at least one fiction and one poetry project coinciding at a time. No more than that, because it's just I'm getting a little scatterbrained with it. Okay? But I'm gonna, keep up with the reading vlogs, keep up with the writing vlogs, so you're getting both types of content. I hope that this has been somewhat worth your watch. Just me struggling with a freaking newsletter and doing some other writer things. So if you needed motivation for what you're doing, I feel like I made good progress, even though I didn't do a whole bunch of things. I got a lot of things done that I wanted to get done. So, and I think that that's all that matters. And that's something I'm trying to get into my head, is that like, it doesn't need to be perfect. I just need to get stuff done, and then things will be as good as they're going to be. And I just got to tweak it out. Right? I hope that you're all having a wonderful spring if you're in the north, wonderful fall in the south. But I'll see you next time.